Hi there, this is Ezekiel Dasho, and I'm continuing my series in simple and shiny objects. This apple is going to be a quick one, but I think a useful demonstration. I apologize in advance for the angle. The camera and my eye are at a little bit different spots, so what I draw and what I see might be a little bit different than what appears on the screen. I still think it should be helpful to people. So we'll just get started, and hopefully the angle won't look too weird or anything like that. So I'm just going to quickly roughen the shape of the apple here, and it's sort of this oval shape. And then let's block in where the stem will be. I think the main thing, that the utility in this demonstration for people who, especially people who are new, is just the demonstration in building up the shape and using soft soft lines and using a lot of restraint in your hand and arm so that you're not pushing down too much at any point. And we'll go ahead and block in the lighting here. And I got a kind of shiny spot here and a shiny spot here. A shiny spot around the circle at the top. And I've just kind of made little spots where I can use them as reference points when I'm shading. And the apple is sort of red and green in some places and a little greener in some places, and the red parts will be darker when you're working in the black and white. For the surface of the apple, I'm just using these kind of curved lines to build up the texture a little bit. Let's go ahead and add some of the shadows here. So this one's kind of dark. And then there's another shadow kind of intersecting that one, and another lighter one intersecting that one. And I am working, I should have said this at the beginning, I'm working in the HB pencil today, so it's a little lighter. As you shade, you notice that part of your pencil will get very sharp. And that sharp edge is great for doing some things, but it's not always the best for giving you that soft shaded look that you want. So as you shade, it's important to be mindful of the various sharpnesses and of your implement. So if you look closely at this part of the apple, there's a little bit of lighting on the underside where it almost looks like there's a little shine from the reflection of the paper bouncing back up and hitting it and lighting that up a little bit. So there are a couple ways to capture those low lights, and one of them is to sort of block it out. Another one's just to shade around it. As you shade, you'll notice that and you shade around that spot, you can define the shape of that highlight by sort of just drawing in the shadows there. And again, the drawing in the shadows is really important. It really is a big part of creating an effective illusion of solidity and three-dimensionality into the two-dimensional object. And a lot of times when people look at a drawing, it's similar to how when people look at a portrait, if they like the eyes and the eyes seem right, they'll like the whole thing, even if the rest of it is just not even, if it's, you could almost make it abstract, or they'll still like it if the eyes look right to them. The shadows do a similar thing, like where if the shadows are right, they'll subconsciously almost just feel like the shape is real and there, and that gives them a feeling that the picture's right. And if the lighting's not correct or the shadows are wildly inaccurate, even if they don't necessarily notice it right away, some part of them will, like if they don't consciously recognize that right away, they'll subtly notice it without really knowing what they're what am I trying to say? They'll see it and understand it without necessarily understanding what is off about what they're seeing. So I've definitely found that as I started practicing the shadows more and paying more attention to the lighting, people started to be more and more impressed with my drawing. And that feels good. It always feels good to make someone happy with something you've created, and understanding how lighting works. It shows the person that you're showing your work to, it shows them that you understand something about the natural world and can convey that to them in this informational sense. And I think people really resonate with that. So let's see, there's this, I want to accentuate this even more over here. This is, I did just want to do kind of a quick rough sketch of this apple, and as we approach the 10-minute mark, I think I'm going to wrap it up because the process is just going to be more of the same. So I mean, if I wanted to, I could, do this for another hour and, maybe bust out some darker pencils and everything, and really, go for the photorealism. And that would be a lot of fun. But for the sake of this tutorial and brevity, and I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. And just maybe, you see, like I'm drawing a shiny object and I haven't even talked about shininess at all. That mostly just talking about the shadows and how important it is to get those right. But part of that is getting the really dark spots to be dark, and that'll make the light spots next to them look much, much lighter. The contrast will really, so as I darken the shadow here, it brings the contrast, the light on the low lighting that I've done to the bottom of the apple, it brings that up quite a bit. But like I said, I mean, it's just the same process, and doing that as much as you want until you've got something that you feel good about. And if you notice too, I haven't really, this whole time, I haven't really drawn a line. Like the closest I came to drawing a line was like right there. And then again, maybe somewhere down here, but just for a very small spot. So, a little more highlighting here to kind of accentuate the roundness. And so you can really get lost in the detail of a simple object like this, and the shading is so fun that, goodness, I could just do this all day. So then maybe a little tip of that. Let's go ahead and darken this up a little bit and then sign off. All right. Well, thanks for being with me for this this video on how I draw an apple, and hope to see you next time. Bye bye.